In this lesson, we are going over the number of solutions when solving linear equations. Please feel free to pause or slow down the video at any time. Here we have 3x plus 5 equals 5x plus 9. We talk about drawing a model, and that reminds us what the first step is. We usually get rid of these numbers. We'll subtract 5 there. We'll do the same here. We write minus 5 there. We write minus 5 under the 9. We go ahead and write our next step. We have 3x's remaining, as we can tell from the left. We bring down the 5x, and we have 9 minus 5, which is 4. This was the new step where we talked about getting rid of these x's so we can put them all the way on this side. So in order to do so, we subtract 5x, we subtract 5x. This cancels out. 3 minus 5 is negative 2x equals 4. And then we divide both sides by negative 2, which gives us a solution of negative 2. So when we solve this equation, this was the only solution. It was the only number that makes this equation true. So everything we've been dealing with so far only has one answer. So what happens when we try to solve this one? We have 3x plus 8 equals 5 plus 3x. Okay, and we can actually even kind of get an idea what's going on here. If we look at this, we have 3x's, and we have 3x's here, right? Okay. But then something weird happens. We have like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the left side and 5 on the right side. Isn't it kind of weird how we can have like 3x's and 8 be like literally the same exact thing as 3x's plus 5? Seems kind of weird, right? Like, how is these exactly the same? But let's see what happens when you solve it. Subtract 8 both sides, subtract 8. We get 3x equals negative 3 plus 3x. When we had variables here, we subtracted this one to the other side. And so we end up getting 3x minus 3x, which is 0 equals negative 3. So that's obviously like not true, right? And when you get something like this that's just a wrong number, which does not equal like the wrong number, right? This is like literally incorrect. What this means something. This means that there actually is not an answer, okay? Because like there isn't a single weight that would make this x true. Because I mean, like, think about it. If you have 3x's here and then 5 and then 3x's here and then 8, how could they be the same thing? Like, it's the same amount of x's and then 5 and 8. It doesn't make sense, right? So whenever we have something like this that's wrong, when we end up with that and there's no x there, that means there is no solution. There is not a single number that makes it true. So your answer is actually no solution, no answer, okay? So sometimes you will have no answer. What happens when we solve this one? We have 2x plus 2. We have 2 parentheses x plus 1. Let's distribute it to make it look a little nicer. We get 2x plus 2. We rewrite that. Same thing. 2 times x, 2x. 2 times 1, 2. So let's go ahead and draw that part. X, x, 1, 1. So once again, when we look at our scale here, these are exactly the same. We have 2x's here and 2, 2x's here and 2. So now they're like literally exactly the same. Well, let's still solve it. Subtract 2. See what happens. That cancels. Those cancel also. We have 2x equals 2x. What? That's weird. And then maybe we can subtract 2x both sides, and we get, this time we get something that's correct. Like 0 equals 0, which is nice. Yeah, so if we get something 0 equals 0, 1 equals 1, 5 equals 5, basically anything that's like correct that doesn't have an x, right? There's no x here, right? So the answer doesn't mean it's 0, doesn't mean it's 5, doesn't mean it's 1. This means something, right? So this means there are infinite solutions. So that means x, it can be every single number. Every single number makes this true. And it kind of makes sense, right? Because like, let's say each x was 2, 2, 2, and then plus these 2. Then we have 2, 2, plus these 2. So it doesn't like matter what you have for x, it's the same amount on both sides. That means every number is an answer, right? So we have infinite solutions. So that means that your answer is infinite answers. All numbers. Every number is true. Everyone's special. Yay. So now let's do some practice problems. One of these are going to have no solution, one of them will have a solution, one of them will be infinite. We follow the same steps as before. That doesn't change. We bring down this negative 5x. 10 minus 8 is 2. We bring down this subtract 5x. We remember that we have to get rid of this plus of this negative 5x, so we add that both sides there. That goes away. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0x. Equals 2. Anything times 0 is 0, which does not equal 2. Since 0 does not equal 2, this is literally wrong. 0 is not 2. That means no solution. There is no answer that makes that true. Bummer. When we solve this one here, we get rid of the number. That's usually the step we've been doing. That goes away. We remember this was a negative. We have negative 3x. Wonderful. 16 minus 4 is 12. We subtract this 3x from both sides. We remember our patterns. Negative 3 minus 3 in the calculator is negative 6x equals 12. We divide both sides by negative 6. And so since this one, we have an x in our answer is just negative 2. There is no need to write one solution. You just write negative 2. Lastly, when we look at our equation here, we can see we can combine some like terms since they're on the same side. So we get 6x plus 4 equals 2x plus 4x is 6x plus 4. And so there's a couple ways to solve this one. We usually subtract 4 both sides, but we could even subtract 6x both sides for a different first step, as long as it's the same thing on both sides. When we do that, those cancel, and oh no, the x's have disappeared. We only have 4 equals 4. When we only have 4 equals 4, that does not mean our answer is 4. That means our answer is infinite solutions. Every number is a solution. All the numbers are special, just like every one of you. Never change.